Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all had a very good day. Um, it's almost bedtime here, and when it's bedtime, what best than talking about books? So, my pick of the day is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. It's my absolute favorite book in the whole wide world, by a female author, of course. And there's another book which is one of my all-time favorite up until now. If there is something else that I've not read, then maybe. But the other book is definitely Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, by a male author. So today I chose Jane Eyre uh, as part of my agenda of this blog, where I'm going to talk about the benefits of reading, and I wouldn't say why it is important, because not everybody is meant to read. Different people have different ways of gathering knowledge and experiences, and different ways of venting out their energies and their ideas. So I know a lot of people who are not just reading type. They wouldn't just sit at home hours and hours reading. Rather, they would go out, meet people, talk to people, and share their ideas. If they have problems, they'll talk about problems. If they want to know about certain things, they'll know about those things. So they are just not reading type people. And I know that for sure. It doesn't mean that they are any less intellectual than other people. They are also very intellectual, but they have a different way of gathering knowledge. And similarly, there are other people who are not even talking type, but they just want to feel. So they travel, they go on expedition, they trek, they motorbike. So there are different ways a person can experience life and gather knowledge, rustic knowledge. They say experiential knowledge. And then there are people who read. Okay, and I think I'm one among those people. um, but it doesn't mean that I am just very much cocooned into my own world and I don't like to go out and about. I like to go out and about. I like to experience and do everything. At the same time, reading is something that I is very close to my heart, and I'll tell you why. So, since my early days, I had a very great passion for languages. I used to write poems, poetries, whether it is Hindi language or English language. But in school, I was always very inclined towards expressing. So it's a medium for expression for me. And like how some people, when they get annoyed or when they get irritated, they express through anger. Some people can't show anger or would not show anger, so they will cry. Some people become silent. So it's just a medium of expression, how you express the way you feel, um, the way you want to convey a message. So for me, it's definitely writing and reading. It not only takes my stress down, but it also brings a substantial amount of clarity in my thought process. So I don't know how you acquire it, or it is just natural to people. I have no idea about it. But I've always been very expressive, but a very silent kind of expression, where I write for myself. If I have to express to somebody, I talk, but at the same time, the best way is to write. Um, so I remember back in school, I was very inclined towards, uh, I mean, I was inclined towards language, and English was one of the very fascinating languages to me at that time. Hindi came very easy to me because it is my mother tongue. Definitely it came very easy to me, but English did not. So to learn English, I had to put a lot of efforts, a lot of conscious efforts. um, Not because it was hard, but language doesn't come overnight. It's not that today you will decide that I want to be expert of this language and tomorrow you will be. It doesn't come overnight. It's a steady, gradual process, like how you age, how you grow. It's something like that, and you can't measure your progress, your improvement in one day or in a month. Not possible. You can't test yourself. You can't really what is that word, by heart it. You can't do it. Language is something which slowly seeps into you, and once you know it, you just know it. So, and because it is not my first language, Hindi being my first language or mother tongue, it had always made me do a little bit of more work on it. So, um, how I got into reading? I got into reading when I was in college. Not because I wanted to read, but because I was made to read. So in St. Joseph's College, there is a section in English um, classes which is called extensive reading, and we used to be provided with one novel per week, and by the end of that week we used to have um, test on it, 5 marks test. And the first time the novel was given to me, I had no idea how I'm going to finish it in a week, and that write a test on it. How am I going to do it? That was the biggest challenge for me at that time. And I sat down with the book and I was like, what is the meaning of this word? What is the meaning of that? Oh, I couldn't get through the book. I was banging the book on my head and I was like, how I'm going to write test on it? I don't understand a single word. How I'm going to do it? And I remember I happened to be at my friend's place, Ranjita Rani, who was very, very close friend of mine at that time. And she has one elder sister, Sangeeta Didi. So I asked her, she was very interested in reading. She was very interested in literature. So I asked her, how do you read a book? I mean, a novel. I don't understand a thing. I don't understand the plot. How do you read it? The advice that she gave me never left me. Still, till date, I follow that advice, and it has just changed the way I look at a book and I go through a book. She told me, you don't have to stop in between to know the word of to know the meaning of a word. She told me it's called reading. So you don't have to worry about whether you're understanding it or not. You just have to read it. It's not studying, it's reading. And once you read it, you may reread it, but you read it. And you'll be surprised to know that by the end of the book, you will know what the plot is. You will know what the story is. You will know who the characters are. You will know how the story ended. It's like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I did the same. And I was amazed. Without even stopping to know the meaning of words, without even wondering whether I was understanding it or not. I did understand the story. I did understand the characters. It was just amazing. So what I had to really do is to start the book, read it, and finish it. And it wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult at all to sit, read, and finish it. And that's about it really. There started journey of reading. And but they say until you get the right book, they say until you get your book, you never really know how much reading or writing can change your life. So the first book that really brought the passion of reading in me was The Alchemist. I know it sounds very cliche because everyone talks about that book. But The Alchemist book, the moment it came in my hand, that was the first book in my life which changed the way I thought about writing, reading, and what is the real purpose behind books. It's not just meant for some storytelling, reading, or entertainment. Books have power, a stored power. Your ideas get converted into life changing power. So that was my first book which really got me into reading. And after that, I have read many, many books.